Well, here he is, in me, Sandhurst, car park swim, and we're back for another 48 hours. It's absolutely pouring with rain out at the moment, so I put my water bottle in there. Gonna get sorted. We've got 48 hours again, which is, I'm looking forward to it, but there's a bit of wind this time, a bit of oxygen in the water. Hopefully, we're gonna catch one. Welcome to this week's vlog. First time you've come across my channel, you like these type of videos, then you may want to think about subscribing. Don't forget to hit that bell notification icon and you'll never miss another upload. Well, Sandhurst, it's absolutely pouring down. I just managed to get the rods out in the pouring rain. Singles, I'm fishing the old faithful combi rig, which I showed you in I think the last video or the one before. Little 10mm pop-ups with the magnet clusters on top. I've got two whites with a pink and a white on top, and I've got a pink pop-up, pink 10mm with a white maggot cluster on top. Been soaked in Italian, both of them, and a tiny little bit of System X flavouring. So that's what's out there. Fishing about 8 foot. There's a little depression out there. It's a silt depression, hardish in places, and all three went down with a donk. So I'm well happy with those. Only fishing singles. I brought some spod mix. I want to put some out if I'm honest, because the weather conditions are absolutely perfect. It's below 1,000, the pressure's low, I think it's about 993, something like that, and we've got a strong westerly, southwesterly wind. Look at that out there, look. It's proper blowing up. That's why I've angled the bivvy slightly, because we're getting some strong winds. That's only going to do it good, I think, putting some more oxygen in the water, then fish could well feed. So we've got 2 nights. Me and a fluffy creature who's sitting in there, you can't see him because it's too dark in here, but he's underneath the covers already. So we're back again. Hopefully we're going to bag one. It's looking good. I haven't seen anything yet, but I've just got a really good feeling I'm going to see something or get a bite, because I mean it's looking that good at the moment. It's going to be cold at night, but it's 10 degrees today. Just looked at the water temperature and it's 6.1 degrees, would you believe? 6.1. Don't forget, last trip I was down here, it was 4.5 and went up to about 4.9. So it's a degree and a bit up on what it was, because we've got that warmer weather and the low pressure and that wind. So fingers crossed, hopefully we might get a bite. So I've wrapped them out, same amount of wraps that I always fish in this swim on that spot. It's that nice depression, like I said, nice silt, and that's where any food will congregate. Around it, it goes up to about 5s, 6s, 4s, but it's gravel, so I want to be in that depression. It's about 70 to 80 yards out there if you ever come in here, towards the bailiff swim, the 2 swims just to the left of the island, at that sort of area. So, well, that was a little bleep. Anyway, I think that's just the line settling where I've just cast out. Almost got taken out by the swans a minute ago. If it's not the black chickens, it's the swans or the flying rats. Cast out with one of the other rods, hit the line, just going down, feeling lovely, and the line hit the bloody flying rat, would you believe? So that's where we're at. Look, there we are out there. Rods are on the dance floor, as I like to say, and all to play for. So I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to get that kettle on, have a bloody sort out in here, because there's gear everywhere, rigs everywhere, bait everywhere and everything else. Get sorted, then I'll come back to you later when it stopped raining. Welcome back. Well, we managed to get ourselves sorted. Had a couple of cups of tea. Got a little bit dry, because we got a little bit wet on the old legs and started to feel a bit cold earlier on. At least the rain stopped. And we've put our merino wool undergarments on and socks, so we're feeling snugly. Got our old 40s coat on, can't beat that in the winter. But I still haven't seen a fish. Now I'm expecting to see them, but that wind is freezing cold. But the water temperature, I've just checked it again down there, and it's 6.5, 6.5, which is more than enough to get a bite on. That's for certain. So with the increased oxygen in the water, with all the waves and the rain and everything else, even though that wind temperature is bloody freezing, and I'm having to really put all the gear on to keep warm, the middle bit, oh, just had a little bleep on the middle rod. Ah, there's the culprit. Black chicken going through my line. Bloody, I thought I had a little liner then. No, Mr. Black Chicken. Bloody things. Even though they're not on my baited area, he's diving down across my tight lines and he's giving me a bloody single bleep. Bless him. Give me a heart attack then. I thought, what's going on? Little liners fishing the area. So yeah, so even though that air temperature's bloody cold, the water temperature's the one. That's why these £2.99 or £2.50 little temperature gauges can give you a general idea of what the water temperature's doing. I'll put a link down below. I think I'll put that link in all my videos in the description, where you can go and get one of them water temperatures, waterproof water temperatures, temperature gauges, should I say. Right, so yeah, I'm fishing tight lines. So the reason for that is, like I said earlier on, is that I'm fishing out, it's about 4 or 5 foot deep, then it goes down about 8 foot, like a big bowl, and I've got all 3 rods in there. It's a big bowl that goes down, fishing in the silt there. So really, my lines are going tight out to there, and they're going down. I've got the fluorocarbon leaders on, with about 1.5 foot, 2 foot of lead core through to those little combi rigs. So it goes down. To me, I'm not really bothered whether if it's tight all the way out there. It's that bit that goes down. It'll be going nicely into where my hook bait is positioned, so it doesn't need to be slack. Hence why I was like, oh, a little liner, because it's a tight line. I'm thinking, oh, there must be something moving about out there. So I've got all three hook baits within about 10-15 foot of each other, I suppose. Now I've been sitting there for the last hour going, I want to put a bit of spot out there, But so the problem is, and I've had to sit on my hands because I want to put it out there, but I'm not gonna, because there's been nothing out for at least 7 days. About 10 days there hasn't been anything out for. Last thing I want to do is put a load of bait out there if they're not having it. Oh bloody hell, look, he's woken up. He's been in there since I set up a couple of hours ago. He's been in that bloody sleeping bag, festering, doing nothing, and now, oh, he's going back. Look, disappeared. He's like the Scarlet Pimpernel of carp fishing. He is, the old carp dog, fluffy one. Comes out, has a little look about, bang, straight in there. He knows what's good for him. That cold wind, he's gone, sod that, I'm getting back in the bag. I put my hand down there, right, in the sleeping bag when he's in it, and it's like someone's got an oven on in there. It's that warm, so you can't really blame him, can you? You can't blame him. So yeah, it's looking good. I'm looking forward. It's always like this on your first night out of 2. You always anticipation because the conditions are good, water temperature's warm enough. You've got your baits on the spots. They went out there pretty okay. Overcast, oxygen. It's like I've got to see one. All what to complete it now is if I see a fish or a couple of fish show anywhere out there, then I know they're active. They're on the move. You've got a chance for a bite. So I found on here, if you're seeing them moving about, that's when you're going to get a bite. That's when you're going to feed. On both lakes, isn't it? You find a fish, they're active, they've got to feed because they're hungry, and hopefully what you do is you get a bite. What have we got? What has Mrs. B put in for tonight? Well, I can tell you. I'll tell you what we've got, because we're on a diet. We've successfully lost about 4 or 5 pounds and not out of my back pocket so far. It's been going well, and I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to stick with it. Stick with a diet of no carbs. I'm going to try and keep off the carbs as much as possible and continue with it. So tonight we've got the big, the big tomatoes. We're going to cut them in half, fry them up in the old ridge monkey with bacon, which is full of protein, and poached eggs. Oh, or a poached egg, well, maybe 2. I think a couple of poached eggs. I'm going to do that. I'm going to enjoy that later on. I'm really looking forward to that, because I do like a bit of bacon, and it's full of protein, isn't it? There's some fat in there, but I'm not worried about that. It's the carbs that I don't want. I'm looking forward to that tonight. I'm going to enjoy that. Snuggle up to him, get that radio on, listen to a bit of whatever's going on in the world, listen to the news and everything, and just the door's going to be zipped up about 3/4 of the way full, I think. This is this wind, I'm telling you what, I wish I brought my gloves now, because it is absolutely Baltic. I'm glad I've got my silly hat on and my coat and my merino wool stuff. Again, I put there's links about the merino wool kit as well in there. So any more information you want about that, it'll be all in the description. So that's where we're at. That's what's happening, guys. Pork chops in there, Z in it again, and we're gonna wait and watch. And I'm buzzing that if I see one, I know they've been moving about. Rods are on the dance floor. Look at that, it looks beautiful, doesn't it? And I wonder why we go fishing. Looks absolutely lovely out there. Right, I'll catch you soon. See you hopefully in the night, if not in the morning. Check you soon. Morning. Well, uneventful night last night. Nothing happened, no bleeps, no liners. Didn't hear anything, but then again it was windy. Look, windy is a windy thing at the moment, and it's absolutely bitter. It's actually hurting my hands holding this. It's that cold. It's got to be about 1 degree, 2 degrees, but it's the wind chill factor is bloody freezing. I've just checked the water temperature, and it's between 5.5 and 5.6. It's flicking around those sort of temperatures. So it's dropped about 1 degree since yesterday, and it is bitter. It's bloody hurting my hands. I'm going to have to change my hand over because it's that cold. Very quiet this morning. Very quiet. I've been looking out. I woke up about an hour before first light, poking my head out of the bloody gap in the bivvy because it's bloody cold, and haven't seen anything at all. Although the air pressure is below 1,000, so you know I like that. There's a low pressure at the moment. It's going to stay that way until at least tomorrow. We've got some even stronger winds coming tomorrow after I'm gone. I'm not at the moment. I'm not going to recast the rods. They all went out there absolutely perfect yesterday afternoon. 3 little donks down in about 7 to 8 foot of water, all about 10 to 15 feet apart, all in that little bowl I was talking about, where last winter I'd done really well on it. I don't know if you remember, we had some nice fish from this swim in that cold weather. It was as cold as this, but there was weed in here then, and it was producing a bit more oxygen, and all the natural food was in the weed, so the fish were a bit more catchable, I would say. It hasn't fished at all well this winter. There's no weed in here, and all that natural's out in the open, and there's not as much oxygen being created by the weed. Hence why I'm here, because we've got a bit of a blow up. I'm hoping it's going to increase the oxygen levels that much. It's going to give me a chance of hopefully nicking a bite, because that's all we're trying to do, nicking a bite. So fishing 3 singles out there. I wanted to put some spod mix out yesterday. I sit on my hands and knees because I haven't seen anything. Well, it's nice, it's cold, but it's warmer yesterday. It was up to 10 degrees, the air temperature, but it was pouring down. I got wet, I got a little bit cold after I sat in the bivvy, which brings me on to a little bit of kit that I've acquired. Something I've done for a long time is always take a spare set of clothes with me. Now, the reason for this is that when things like yesterday happen, where you get wet and you need to change your bottoms, or you need to change your hoodie, or you have a fish and you're playing a fish and you get soaking wet, even in the summer, always take a spare set of clothes, hoodie, socks, tracky bottoms, all that sort of stuff, all year round. And I want to keep it in like a little bag or something. I found this bag by Terra Hiker, the same people who do that stove that I've done a review on. I'll put the link up to the stove review. And this little bit of kit, it's heat sealed. It's like a hardware in plastic. It's heat sealed, this little compartment. I think it's 20 litres, this one. I think they're about 15 quid, something like that. I'm not even sure. I'll put the links in the description so you can go and check them out yourself. But it's 100% waterproof. You could chuck it in the lake. Look, you could chuck it in there and it'd still keep all your clothes dry. So if you've got it on the barrel, it's pouring down with rain, and you've got your spare clothes in there, last thing you want is for those clothes to get wet. Plus, it's a good place to put your wet clothes in, seal it up. It's got a really nice little way it seals it up. You push the top together, roll it down, and then clip it over. It's nothing new. It's something that's been around for years and years and years. Different companies do it, different fishing companies do it, but this isn't a fishing company, so it's going to be a bit cheaper, but it's not branded. So I'll put the link in the description below. You can go and check them out yourself, but it's something, it's like a little tip I'd give. If you're going to carry spare clothes, get yourself one of these, because they're invaluable and they're just the right size. You can put all other stuff in it. You could put bait in it, you could put food in it, you could put anything in it. But what I do is I put my spare clothes in there and I'll leave it in the van, or I'll put it on the, if like yesterday, I put it in the bivvy once I get set up off the barra, and it's there, and you know 100% it's not going to get wet as well. So you've got that little bit of backup, little bit of security, that you've got some spare clothes for if you're going to get soaking wet, or you just need to change them, even if it's not raining. If you're down for 3 or 4 days and you want to change your clothes, your hoodie and your bottoms, then you've got that in there, and you know it's not going to get damp in the van or the car. Because I've had that before, where you put a set of clothes in there, you go back there, and where it's been the condensation, the bloody spare clothes are as wet as the ones you'd better take off. So check that out. Put a link in the description. It's a nice little heat sealed bag, 100% waterproof. Nice little locking system on it, which keeps it waterproof, keeps all that moisture out, and it'll keep your spare clothes nice and dry. God, my fingers are absolutely killing me, I tell you. That's why the old merino kit on, and then decent jacket and hat just keeps you warm, keeps you comfortable. So it keeps me not wanting to go home, that's for certain. But I'm not going to recast them rods. I'm going to leave them out there because they went down perfectly yesterday. I'm not going to put no bait out because it's just not fishing, not picking it up. But I'm hoping that I might see one or two today that blow up, that increased oxygen levels, and have a chance of nicking one. Because we're desperate for one now, aren't we? We've had one fish all winter, and we haven't had a bite for about 3 or 4 trips now. So we're getting a little bit desperado. Be nice to see one, and I haven't seen anyone else catch one every time I've been down here or anywhere else. Don't know anyone who's catching. Just little windows of opportunity at the moment, I think. I thought I'd just see one out of the corner of my eye, but it wasn't. It was a bloody black chicken. Oh, well, one of them gave me a heart attack this morning as well. About 40 yards out, the old duck's gone down. I didn't even realise the black chicken had gone down. Right over my line, pinged me line. I've got a couple of single blips. I think I'm in. Something's going to happen. I've got a line, or I'm going to get a bite. Looked up, and there's old black chicken sitting there, and he smiling at me from 40 yards away. Bless him, as they do. The old black assassins, I call them, the old black chicken assassins. Bloody night, they're not picking up your baits, they're going through your lines. Crazy, bloody things. Right, I'm going to get back in the bivvy. He's got the right idea. He ain't coming out there with love nor money. He ain't stupid, him, is he? He's snuggling up in there like a snuggle thing. It's warm as toast, but at least he keeps my feet warm at night. I don't need a hot water bowl. I've got the Carp Dog. Right, I'm going to get back in. I'm going to get that kettle on because it's bloody freezing. My fingers are absolutely Baltic out here. Water temperatures drop 5.5, 5.6. I'm going to get in there, get the kettle on, have a bit of breakfast, and keep watching and keep looking to see if I see anything, whether it's have a move or recast or put some bait out, or just hope really that we can try and nick one, see some activity out there, just a bit of confidence, just to see one moving about. Right, catch you soon, guys. Well, welcome back. I thought I'd give you a little update. It's about an hour before dark. It's still freezing me nuts off. The wind about half an hour ago was absolutely brutal. It really got up. I was looking out, looking out I was, and I see one jump out twice. A little common out there to the left of the swim. Came out in the waves, big white waves. It come out twice. Give me a little bit of incentive. So I sat there, didn't see any more, reeled in my left hand rod and banged it right on top of it. Took me a couple of casts, banged it out there, got a lovely drop, nice bit of deep water in the silt, and that's where I've left it. So we've got 2 rods straight out on the other little depression, and the left hand rod on where that fish showed. I wouldn't normally recast the rod. I don't like disturbing the water, but there's a lot of waves out there, and it only took 2 casts. And when you're struggling like I am at the moment, any sort of sign of fish in these drastically cold conditions, you've got to put a bait on it. Now normally that would be one of the swims across there, that would be their water, but as no one's over all the way along that bank, I thought sod it, I'm going to bang a rod out there. Nothing chance, nothing gained, is there? You've got to be he who dares, Rodney. would say. Who dares, Rodney, or Del Boy would say. So I banged it out there about half an hour ago. Haven't seen anything since. No liners, nothing like that. But it's a little bit of a ray of hope out there. A little bit of encouragement to actually see one come out twice, even though that water temperature has drastically dropped as well. 5.1 it's saying. 5.1, that is cold. That's getting on the limits. Only about another half a degree and it'll be time to pack up, I think. But you never know, you've got to be in it to win it, and it really does only take one bite. I know I keep saying it, but I won't catch them indoors, and while that bait's in the water in an area where I've seen a fish, I've got a chance tonight anyway, going into our last night. So I'm a little bit more hopeful, because you never know. And the rods are on the dance floor, aren't they? So I'm going to keep looking about an hour before dark. Keep looking, keep watching. Have another endless cup of Yorkshire tea. Snuggle up the fluffy creature. And fingers crossed, you never know. You just never know, do you? Right. Catch you either later on tonight, hopefully, or in the morning when it's pack away time. Welcome back. Good morning, everybody. Join me on a very cold, freezing, uncomfortable morning. Nothing happened last night. I had a couple of liners. I did have a couple of liners, so there were fish about, definitely. And I really thought I was going to get a bite last night, but it was windy and it was bloody freezing. I had to have that heater on all the time. I've just more or less packed up all the kit. I've put him in the van. He's sitting in there, a bit more comfortable for him, because it is really that cold. Even with his little coat on, he's freezing his nuts off, so he's in. All that's left now is the rods on the dance floor. So we just got to keep on keeping on. Another blank, I'm afraid. Just one of them things, isn't it? Just got to keep on keeping on. Confident in what I'm doing, and the fish will happen eventually. But it is, I mean, it's 4.6 this morning, the water temperature. It's dropped 2 degrees since we got here a couple of days ago. Even though I see that one, I'm really happy that I see one, because I know I was in the right area. And I've recast that one out there onto it, but nothing. And that's not the one I had the liner on. The middle rod I had the liner on last night in that little silt depression. So we lick our wounds and we keep motoring on, because it really does only take one bite. That's all I'm after. Just catch one bite this winter, well, this year so far, because we haven't had a bite in 2018 yet. But so many people I know in the same boat, because the weather is so up and down. It's so bloody cold. If it's not frozen, it's bitter wind. I mean, that wind, look, that wind must be minus factor today. It's that cold. It's not comfortable. It's not enjoyable. So I'm going to reel the rods in, pack the gear away, and off home we go. Don't forget, guys, if you like these type of videos and you enjoy them, then you may want to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that bell icon, and you'll never miss another upload again. See you for the next vlog.